Hello, my name is Michael Tellinger, and I'm the author of 3 books at this stage: Slave Species of God, Adam's Calendar, and my new book that's about to go to print for release in 2010 is Temples of the African Gods. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because it's clear that I've been obsessed and very interested in the origins of humankind, ancient human history and so forth. And in the process of researching all these books and researching human origins and so forth, I stumbled upon some very interesting information and reached some conclusions that are really quite disturbing. And I need to share this information with you because it seems, and the evidence is overwhelming, that the human race has been manipulated and controlled for thousands and thousands of years. Controlled so subtly that it is not visible and not known to us by a small group of elite individuals that have really masterminded a very subtle control technique and mechanism to keep us enslaved and keep us dumbed down and not realize the greater picture and the bigger scope of the universe and life within the greater universe. And the reason I mention this to you once again is because I need to introduce you to a concept that I now refer to as contributionism. Contributionism, as opposed to capitalism, as opposed to communism, as opposed to fascism, as opposed to consumerism, a brand new socio-political system that I would like to introduce to you and share the fundamental principles of the system before much more time goes by. I think it's painfully clear that every socio-political system we've had over the past 6,000 years, since the rise of our current so-called civilization, since the emergence of the Sumerians, when the Sumerians first mysteriously appeared with all their knowledge and information, we have now come to this point in time where things are not going well for us on this planet. We're a confused species on a planet. We don't know our origins. We don't understand our place in the universe. And there is a very desperate sense of anxiety that has sends shockwaves throughout this planet. In essence, if you step away from the planet and you look at it, it's quite obvious that the planet itself as a living organism and the people on the planet are living in a state of shock. We are both, as a species and as a planet, going through a state of shock. And when you're in a state of shock, you can't make clear decisions. For those of you that have studied to listen to Bruce Lipton, you'll understand that when you're in a state of shock, it shuts down the blood flow to your brain. And that affects not only the human race, but the planet as well. And so we've reached a stage in our evolution now that things are just so bad. There's so much unhappiness and so much sadness and so much anxiety and so much tension and so much stress among the humans on this planet that we cannot even conceive anything other and anything else than what we are trapped in right now. So I'd like to introduce to you the concept of contributionism. What I call contributionism is something completely different. It is a socio-political system we have never ever contemplated before. It is unlike communism, it's unlike capitalism, it's unlike consumerism, it's unlike anything we've tested or tried before. I call it a post-capitalistic, post-consumerism, post-apocalyptic proposal for a new world and a new world order. And I specifically use the word new world order because I understand that that is the word and the phrase that's being used by the control elite groups of this planet. And they're trying to introduce the so-called New World Order, which is a candy-coated solution for all our problems, but it will probably cause a lot more woe and despair in the financial circles and in the state of the human race as we know it today. So contributionism is something completely different. So what I'd like to do is by asking you, what is it that we need as a species? What do we need on this planet? And I've been studying this now since I started doing research on Slave Species of God, which is about at least 5 years ago, since starting to write it and doing the final stages of research. And then making the amazing discoveries of Adam's Calendar and Temples of the African Gods, I realized that there were ancient civilizations on planet Earth that worked completely differently from the socio-political structures that we have today. Remember that money is not something that's part and parcel of human evolution. Money is not something that just mysteriously became part of our evolutionary system. That is what we've been led to believe. It has been sold to us so well that we believe that money is just a natural extent of evolutionary principles in the human race. That is not so. There was a point in time in human history that money was very cunningly and maliciously introduced to this human race, Homo sapiens, as a tool of enslavement. And that's very important for us to come to terms with and be comfortable with. That is not something that we developed because it was convenient and we needed money. Okay, so let's ask ourselves, the fundamental principles of contributionism is a world that functions without money, without any form of barter, and especially without the concept of value. Alright, so contributionism, no money, no form of barter, and no idea of value. Things have no value. Now just that statement alone is a tough statement for many people to digest. And I must admit that during my 4 years of research, a few years ago when I first started researching this in small groups of up to 20 people around dinner evenings, it got quite heated, and I was almost attacked on a few occasions by people asking me, how dare you suggest you want to take away everything I've worked for all my life? Well, that is exactly not what contributionism is all about. What contributionism is all about, and it gets really tough here, is that everyone has everything they need. Whatever it is you want, you have. I know it sounds like a utopian dream. Believe me, it's not. The reason we immediately think it's a utopian dream, because every decision we make in this world today, every decision we make, everything we contemplate, every business idea we have is directly linked and controlled by the way that we've been molded in a capitalistic world. And all our thoughts and plans are directly linked to capitalistic and financial principles. What's in it for me? If I do this, what am I going to get out of that? And so forth. And those are very subtle but very powerful forces that play here. So let's go back. What do we need? What do we as a species, as humans, as people living on this planet need? We need love. We need food. We need shelter. We need health. We need education. We need security. We need music. We need water. We need energy. We need clothing. We need plants. We need tables and chairs. We need pots and pans. We need transport. We need birds. We need fruit. We need wonderful things. We need friendship. We need everything you can think of. The one thing we don't need is money. That is very, very important. We do not need money. Many people instinctively say, well, to have all this stuff you need money. That is wrong. It's not true. Do not believe it. Do not fall into that trap. We do not need money to have any of these things. This is very, very important. A fundamental principle of contributionism.